This episode brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can get a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help find you options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? If you're a woman, you're not alone. With over 1,000 hormone disruptors in our environment, it's no wonder things can feel out of balance. On top of that, natural changes like PMS, menopause, and other life stages can leave you feeling tired, irritable, and trapped in a constant battle with your body. But here's the good news. You don't have to suffer through it. Hormone Harmony by Happy Mammoth is here to help. This herbal formula fine-tunes your hormones, balancing estrogen, testosterone, and even stress hormones like cortisol, which can contribute to weight gain, racing thoughts, poor sleep, and more. With over 40,000 five-star reviews and a bottle selling every 24 seconds, the results speak for themselves. Ready to feel like yourself again? For a limited time, get 15% off your first order at happymammoth.com using code NEXTCHAPTER at checkout. Visit happymammoth.com today and get your old self back naturally.
Offer valid on standard browsers, U.S. only.
When I heard about Date My Age, I thought, really? But there I was in my empty, quiet house, my laptop on the kitchen counter, and I typed in my name. Looking for a man between the ages of 40 to 60? Sure, why not?
Date My Age is different. With verified profiles, you can feel safe and secure to explore meaningful connections with interesting and mature singles.
Date My Age made it really easy. I could join and view online profiles for free. All of a sudden, my empty house wasn't so quiet anymore. I got so much attention, it just made me feel seen and alive. Date My Age helped me start a totally new chapter in my life.
Find a friend, a lover, a partner at Date My Age. Get 60% off when you join at datemyage.com today. That's datemyage.com to connect with thousands of singles worldwide. datemyage.com.
What is going on? You are watching and, of course, listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition, where we're here every Wednesday night on the Crowdcast platform. I am your host, Stevie V, back in business. Episode 669. Hello, gorgeous Cody.
Me? Who? Me? Hello, darling. It's so good to have you back. I can't wait to see you. I know you just got back today. I'm not going to pressure you.
Yes, exactly. Just got back. I flew in early this morning. We landed after 22 hours of flying back from Africa. Flew in, landed at 7 a.m. and I took a little nap. I went to the gym. I'm refreshed and trying to get back on this time, but happy to be back and see your lovely face. Definitely. Right? Yeah. So you say hello, darling. I say hello, gorgeous now.
Oh, perfect. I love that.
Because one of the places we went to and stayed at was the Hotel George in Cape Town, South Africa, and their whole tagline is "Hello, gorgeous." And I thought, I am going to be the counterpart to my co-host, my BFF. Hello, darling. Hello, gorgeous. And,
hello, darling. Hello, gorgeous. Oh, we should definitely get that on T-shirts. Hello, gorgeous. Hello, darling.
Exactly. Let's make it a thing. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, I am so happy to be back after 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks of travel in Africa. And thank you so much for you holding down the fort with our dear special guest co-host, Amir Yas. And I listened to those episodes and they were so fun. You guys have great chemistry. Good job. Yeah. Thank you for doing
Amir.
That. Yeah, love Amir. Just really quickly, my trip was so amazing. And I know people throw that a word around a lot, but it truly was the trip of a lifetime. It's my second time going to Africa but this time I went with my sister and some very dear close friends, and we were a tight-knit group, and we divided it into 5 parts. The first part being the winelands. A lot of people don't know that South Africa has amazing wines that rival France, and the vineyards in the winelands are stunning because they have this backdrop of amazing mountains and just gorgeous, and the wines are stunning. And it was a great way to get over your jet lag and sip wine. We stayed in this adorable guest house place that was just perfect. And then we moved to part 2 to Cape Town, and the iconic, it's a city by the water. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. Brings up a little bit of San Francisco, a little bit of Lisbon, but it's its own city. We went to Robben Island, where Mandela spent 18 years of his 27th sentence, and that was impactful and powerful. But we also went to the tip of Cape Point, which was amazing, and climbed down to the beach, which was beautiful. We saw penguins.
What did you climb down? What did you climb down?
The mountain. It was amazing. Wow. And then we moved our way over to Safari, which is the real reason we were also going there. If you're going to go that far, you need to do Safari. We did 3 safaris. We started with a Victoria Falls light safari and the amazing Victoria Falls. And then we moved into another camp in Lower Zambia, which beautiful. You go out for game drives in the early morning, and then in the afternoon you take a siesta. It's perfect. You hang out by the campfire. It's awesome. And then we made our up to the north of Zambia after, and where we were really deep into the bush, and complete with sundowners, which is the drinks that you have in the middle of the bush. The Jeep drives you into the middle of the bush, Cody, and they set up a spread of cocktails, and you're in there with watching the sunset. It's gorgeous.
I bet.
Yeah.
And I know you were without like service or any of that.
Yeah. Right.
No Wi-Fi or anything. So
Wi-Fi at the camps, but not when you're out and about. And
wow.
Yeah. So such a great trip. I will share tidbits on our Tags Patreon community. I'm going to be writing, if you want to hear more about it, if you've been ever curious about a safari, I am going to write a diary on there starting tomorrow, and you can follow some of my storytelling on it, and why I think it's so special and why I think you should do one too. It really is one of those trips of a lifetime, not to even to mention the animals that I haven't even talked about.
I saw some of the pictures. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. From the lions to all of them. It's just Mufasa live in real life. And it's so cool. So highly recommend. You can go to our Patreon community, go to patreon.com/tags podcast, and I will be documenting that. You can grab a free account, but of course we appreciate your support if you want to. We have a brand new bonus episode coming out next week, so consider supporting the show you've come to know and love. We really appreciate it. And Cody, I came back to a house filled with flowers from my my fiance was a new. Yeah.
No, they
I
weren't.
thought maybe, but yeah, I came back and my fiance Diego had just spread the whole house with flowers, and what an amazing welcome. I'm so happy to see him, and we missed each other. He wasn't able to make it because he had to work, but I want him to come someday. We will plan a trip together, but so great.
I'm gonna go on that one.
Yes, we will make that happen. How have you been? What have you been up to?
Well, of course, working and hosting the show, but I've also been really working heavily on music. So look forward to some of that coming out very soon. I shot some photographs for anybody that is on my Instagram, Cody Maurice. Mr. Maurice. On Instagram and Blue Sky. You saw that I did a photo shoot in Providence, Rhode Island. So shout out to Shaun Martins, the wonderful photographer, and his lovely husband. Anthony Martin Torres. I think that's right.
Okay.
I think he hyphenates. But yeah, so shout out to them. They were lovely. We had such an amazing time in Providence. And of course, the shoot was fantastic. I can't wait to see the proofs. And I can't wait to show you the proofs. So
Yes,
yeah,
I want to
listeners.
see.
And they're gonna, when they come down, we're all gonna hang out. So get ready.
Love it. Love it. Well, Memorial Day has come and gone. That means summer is officially here, unofficially, but people like to think of it. Once Memorial Day arrives, I know our co-host Jeremy is off to P-Town, Provincetown tomorrow for their gay pride. Puerto Vallarta just had their Pride over Memorial Day weekend, although they don't celebrate that there. That was a big deal. WeHo Pride is this weekend. I didn't realize that all of these are starting so early. I mean, we are in the thick of it, starting to get into it, and it's kind of an exciting time. So tell us your Pride stories, what city you are from. We want to hear from you. I'm excited to welcome Pride season, especially this year. It's always special when there's a government that perhaps isn't aligned with the community. True. These are the times that Pride, I think, really makes a difference, and we have to show up. So I might actually be in town for our Pride this year. I never am, and I will show up this year when it arrives.
And I think I'm not going to be here for the first time in a very long time.
Oh, okay.
I know.
That's okay.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you guys had mentioned the sad passing of porn star extraordinaire Colton Ford, and I heard you guys talk about it, and I just wanted to also mention, you know, I had seen him a few times singing. He had a huge singing career that was one of the first gay singers that was out and proud, porn star singers that really did it, and he had a great voice. He had great singles. He, you know, and I know you have music coming out, and that had to mean a lot. And so,
seeing him do that really influenced me. So I mentioned that he influenced me, but I didn't mention how, aside from the porn, of course. But he definitely was, his singing career kind of put that in my mind that, you know, you can do it at any age. So I really enjoyed Colton.
Exactly. All right. Well, we have a lot of hot topics to get into, especially since we were off this week due to Memorial Day weekend. And I want to start with a couple of our OnlyFans, and we have another story related to it, relating to Sniffies. Okay, well, starting off with OnlyFans, the owner of OnlyFans is in talks to sell it. Forget this, Cody, $8 billion.
Wow.
Leondi Radovinsky is in discussions to sell it for $8 billion. And this was reported by Variety. And the funny thing about this story, Cody, is when Variety talked about this, they said OnlyFans as quote unquote porn-centric and porn-friendly. And as if like they're not really, it is porn, basically. Most of it is porn. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny. But who knows who they're going to sell it to? Who knows who will buy it? As somebody that has put content up on that site, I hope whoever is in talks to buy it makes it a little bit more user-friendly on both ends. So from my end, as somebody that has put content up there, it's very basic site. I know, have you been on there before? There's not a lot of bells and whistles, and I would love to shout out a competitor, Just for Fans, which is gay owned, which really supports the community, which supports its content providers, and has a lot of bells and whistles when you are a content creator that you can promote in various ways. The look of the site is a lot better. I would hope that a lot of people gravitate more to Just for Fans than OnlyFans. Many of you know it's just a basic site. Whether he sells it or not, I don't know. If maybe he's feeling the scrutiny of the government, that there's a lot of restrictions coming down on the talks of maybe no more porn, that they're trying to get rid of all that. So maybe he's trying to sell out now, get his coin, as you would say, while he can, before it becomes heavily watched and restricted. So good for him, but people that subscribe to OnlyFans, I know when I was just subscribing to various content people back in the day, it didn't recognize my email at times. There's
Really?
people that have gotten overcharged. Yeah, there's a lot of user error on their side that
Oh, wow.
is really not fun. That's why I say good for them, but if everybody would consider moving over to Just for Fans, which is gay owned, somebody in our community that is looking out for our content creators, that would be all the much better. What do you say?
Oh yeah, I really honestly don't understand why he's selling it. I don't know. I think he must not like money. I don't know. But you bring up some really good points because with the
how much did I quote?
7 billion.
8 billion.
8 billion. Sorry,
That's
off by a billion. That's
yeah.
just a little billion, just one little billion.
That's why. I mean, it's not like pocket change.
It's true. It's not pocket change, but maybe the whole hubbub and hassle of him running this day in and day out, that could be a factor as well. But I know that for sure that this is something that it's going to be affecting us all throughout, because for me, who's going to come in and take over this site? And are they going to restrict it a little bit more than it was before? There's so many things that are up in the air. So we can only wait and see, because it might not go through, but it could go through. And I think they tried to restrict OnlyFans before and it didn't work out. So we'll see where this goes.
Absolutely. We're reminding everybody that we are live, and thank you for those of you joining us. Put questions, comments in our comment section. And if you're listening to us, because this show, of course, drops on Thursday morning, you can join us every Wednesday, and we welcome you. We are live 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, and it's a lot of fun because you get to weigh in, see our mugs, and so forth. You can also watch this show on replay on our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/tags podcast. Moving on to a related story is the Apple App Store is removing the queer cruising app Sniffies. It could be temporary, but they're removing it. So Sniffies, as you all know, and we had Eli, the chief marketing officer, on our show, basically when Sniffies was launched several years ago, correct, Cody?
We should have him back on, yeah.
We should, to give us an update, because they have so many new things. And I like that they keep evolving over time. So there, as you may know, it's a cruising platform online that you can just go on your phone. It wasn't an app initially, but it has evolved into an app as well. Well, the Apple App Store has removed it without any timeline of whether it'll be restored. Those that are already using the app can continue to use it. So that's good news if you already have it on your phone. You can also continue to use the online platform, not the app. That hasn't changed at all. But we're not sure as to why. Quote unquote, there's this idea that if something is in the App Store, it's more legitimate. Martin added, we knew we needed to meet users where they are without alienating the people who love Sniffies. And he's really talking about, Cody, the fact that Apple App Store there's a lot of restrictions on what you can put. So they blurred out images. So if you were on the app like Grindr and many of those, there's restrictions that Apple puts on these apps that you cannot show dick pics, you can't be naked. Often if it's a torso, it's like you are on these apps more. You could probably speak more to this on what you can and cannot do as our expert here. Oh, come on, girl. You've talked about this a lot.
Yes, I'm just messing with you.
All of a sudden, we're demure.
I am an app expert. I'm so demure.
Not.
We're bringing that back. But yeah, no, I 100% on Grindr as your profile picture. Even anything that's kind of close to your crotch, like if there's hair or anything like that, I've had things that have been taken down. I don't think they allow any butt pics or anything like that as your main profile picture. Anything that's said within the app or in your private folders is fine. But if it's of access to the public, then no nudity can be involved. So I think those same restrictions were required for Sniffies as well. And maybe they were finding it a little bit difficult to adhere to those, because the web-based one, Bryce says that we are allowed to show bare butt. And I mean, he would know better than me, I guess.
Well, I think but Bryce, are you talking about the app or just on Sniffies, the platform? Because I know on there you can show everything. And that was one of the reasons why, he's talking about Grindr. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think they went into, we had Eli on the show, and one of the reasons I think they did the platform was because they really wanted a cruising space that felt like cruising, that was anonymous. If you wanted to be anonymous, that you could really put yourself, like, it wasn't trying to be dating. It wasn't trying to be something that it wasn't. It was, and I thought that was really cool and not skirting around, there's other apps for that. There's Hinge and there's all kinds of apps that you could look for that. But I think when they went that route, because of restrictions that are currently being implemented by the current government, that we're seeing this, and they think that they'll be back, but they don't want to dumb it down either. So I say if they dumb it down too much, they should just don't even offer it anymore, because they've been successful without being on App World. And you can go, as long as you have Wi-Fi, or if you have, in America at least, you can just get on the regular platform and make a hookup happen. So, yeah.
You know what? I know they didn't want to alienate people, but I feel like they may have, as far as this is concerned, because it's just, the app is basically a homogenized version of the web-based platform. So it just doesn't have the same allure for a lot of people, especially for me, because I can go on Grindr if I want a Grindr experience. I think maybe they wanted to diversify their audience, but I think it may have just slapped them in the face as well. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And I just remind everybody that you can just still, if you're already on there, you can stay on there. If you want to just go on the regular platform on your phone, you can do that. And so why not just do that in the meantime? Yeah, exactly. Okay. Moving on to this. We talked about this before, but 3 men were finally sentenced to decades in prison for the murder of the New York City gay bar drugging scheme. And it was several men that they lured, but it's 2 men, Julio Ramirez, who was only 25, and John Umberger, who was 33, who were actually murdered in connection with this scheme. And a judge sentenced the 3 men to, so 2 of the men they sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. One of them will serve 20 years, but the 3 defendants were convicted of murdering Ramirez. 2 of them, like I said, were basically, they still said that they were innocent, which is crazy. Yeah, but the judge said that this was cold and calculated. Felicia Menon said at the sentencing, "I pity your lack of empathy, but pity will not translate into leniency in this case." It was a 3-week trial, which is crazy.
Can you imagine being a juror on that trial?
I just watched a movie on the 15-hour flight, and one of them was juror number 2, and it really got into what the life of a juror can be and the picking of all that. And yeah, I mean, that's a great movie. Highly recommend it too. But 3 weeks, I mean, that's crazy that they couldn't all come. Maybe it was just the details of it all, but the defendants essentially drugged the victims to the point of unconsciousness, and they used a concoction which included fentanyl and many other things, and basically stole money from them, and on and on and on. But it's good to see that finally that these 3 will set an example, because there's other schemes that we've reported on this show countless times of people drugging people and trying to take their money and so on and so forth. It's a scheme, but I think this will set a tone that if you do this, they're going to throw the book at you. What do you say to this, Cody?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, because for me, the prosecuting lawyers said that these people were not targeted because of their sexuality. And I don't know if I believe that 100%. Because number one, gay people are, they are known to have a lot more disposable income because they don't have any kids. They have no, big things to take away from them as far as their cash is concerned. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. But also there is like an underlying theme in my mind, at least, that like gay people are more likely to have not anyone care about them or if they're alive, basically. So I think that maybe that factored into it as well. And they thought that gay people were an easy target because they didn't have anyone that they could lean on or rely on. So, and that in and of itself is insidious to me. So I don't know. I'm glad they threw the book at them, for real.
Yeah. Oh, it's gross. And I'm so happy that they found their due time in court. So yes. Okay. Moving on to a story that was recently a discussion online that guys were essentially dishing on what really goes down on gay cruises. And I thought we have to talk about this because I've worked with gay cruise lines. I've been on several cruise lines from Atlantis to, of course, Vakaya, which I've been a guest on, which I've worked with them in various capacities. And I thought we got to talk about this. And you've been on a Vakaya resort in Puerto Vallarta. So let's take this on. When the person said he and his fiancée were considering embarking on a gay cruise for the first time. However, they reached the decision after a few drinks, and they're now having second thoughts. He wanted to know and put it out to Reddit was this a big excuse to just hook up with other guys if they went on this cruise? And they said the kicker is we aren't necessarily open, but we might invite a third. That event rarely happens. We are open to group parties where we just play. But beyond that, we're not really into any of the other typical gay scene activities, which seem to be centered on these types of cruises. I'm looking for more rest and relaxation than party scene every day. He also expressed apprehension as to whether he would fit in physically and how the other guys looked. And he asked the guys to share their experiences. Well, surprisingly, he got a lot of responses because cruise life is very popular for gay men and for LGBTQ, I would say. Some people said everything a cruise ship has to offer except yassified, which I thought was really funny. Somebody said, I've done 12 plus gay cruises of all brands. Yes, there's a lot of sex happening, but mostly contained to suites and cabins. So if you're not looking for it, the most you'll see is someone sucking dick on the mosh pit or getting railed off a balcony. And the caveat I would add to that person's response is on Vakaya, there is an actual dedicated space that is inclusive. It's called the RLD, aka Red Light District, that I have worked for, been in, and it's a dedicated space that Vakaya really offers to its guests that, like I said, is all inclusive. So wherever you are welcome to join in. And it's kind of a fun space that you can just partake in. And I really like that about Vakaya, that they do that. Other cruise companies don't do that, but it's dedicated to the room. But if you don't want to partake in that, you don't have to. Yeah. I've been on cruises where Vanessa Williams is performing, and then you've got Mateo Lane the next day. You've got, on and on. All of the drag superstars are there. It's Alan Cummings. It's really, you can fill your night up with comedy, entertainment. There's excursions to be had. There's a lot going on. I think it's a great option. What do you say?
I think that it is going on a cruise is just, it's an amazing experience. I haven't been myself, but I think that as far as I went on the Vakaya, the destination trip that we did, and that was amazing. And I think that is basically like a cruise, but without the ship, basically, and without this ocean sickness. So my experience there was fantastic, and I enjoyed meeting new people. I think it's more about community than it is about having sex. Of course, there was sex there. I had sex there, and and I went on the red light district as well, and it was fantastic. But I think I met more people and more friends than any other place that I had been, except for summer camp when I was a kid. So I think that is that's basically what it is, gay summer camp. And I
Gay
think
summer camp, right, at sea, and what's not to like. Bryce watching us live, right, brings up a good point, because he thinks that the writer was not really making sense. He says a third and possible hooking up, but no intention of hooking up. How does that make sense? Okay, well, I can actually make sense of this a little bit, because I have worked at the welcoming people with Vakaya as they are coming onto the ship. I was like the love boat cruise, the welcome crew when everybody's excited to come on the cruise, and we were giving them, I forget what we were giving them. It was a New Orleans cruise, and we were giving them beads and you had to pick either red, which meant no, I'm taken, yellow, it's somewhere in between, I'm going to figure it out, or green, which was like, I'm ready to mingle and meet you. And and everybody, we were told we could only give out one pair of beads, which I think we should have been allowed to give more than one, because you could change your mind throughout the trip, I think. But that was our job. And we saw, to what Bryce is suggesting, the confusion here, we saw some couples kind of get into it, like almost like, what do you mean you're grabbing the green with the yellow one? And they were almost getting into a little tip. And so we were joking, like, have these discussions, gentlemen, before you come on the cruise. These are vital. So him putting it out on Reddit is great, but he should also be having these conversations with his partner, which he probably is, or hopefully he is, on scenarios on how this will potentially look like. Like, what do we really want this trip to look like? What if we see somebody that we both are interested in? How will this potentially play out? Do some scenarios, because you don't want to. We saw some of these dramas happening even before they got on the ship, and we were like giggling and turning away, but it was like, girls, ladies, take it to the side. We're trying to be a happy welcoming crew here, and you guys are like bickering, and it's not even day one of the cruise. So have these conversations would be my advice before you get on the ship, because work out these scenarios. You'll save yourself a lot of drama. And if it's no, then it's no, but continue to have these conversations.
But it's probably yes. No.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows? Give me a green and a red.
Yeah. But they're great places to go on if you want to experience. You'll meet a lot of people. If you are in remote parts of the world, it's a great chance to connect with people that you wouldn't normally meet. And like you said, it's like a party of gay men at sea. And
Offer valid on standard browsers, US only.
When I heard about Date My Age, I thought, really? But there I was in my empty, quiet house, my laptop on the kitchen counter, and I typed in my name. Looking for a man between the ages of 40 to 60? Sure, why not?
Date My Age is different. With verified profiles, you can feel safe and secure to explore meaningful connections with interesting and mature singles.
Date My Age made it really easy. I could join and view online profiles for free. All of a sudden, my empty house wasn't so quiet anymore. I got so much attention, it just made me feel seen and alive. Date My Age helped me start a totally new chapter in my life.
Find a friend, a lover, a partner at Date My Age. Get 60% off when you join at datemyage.com today. That's datemyage.com to connect with thousands of singles worldwide. datemyage.com.
What's not to like about that? But consider Vakaya. There's a link on our page that you can click to see all of the details. Go to tagspodcast.com and click on My Vakaya. You'll see it there. There's a banner there, and check out all your potential opportunities. So check it out. Moving on, we just wanted to shout out to a couple of exciting announcements in entertainment land within our community, that is. And Bob, the drag queen, is the first Black queen in drag history to hit 2 million Instagram followers. That's amazing. Not surprising to me, Cody. Is it to you?
I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner because Bob's been on TV shows, released music, written a book, and been on tour with Madonna. So she should definitely have more followers than a lot of
2
people.
million though. That's like
I know, but
and the
Violet
first
Chachki has 2 million. So I don't know what's the criteria because I haven't seen Violet Chachki anywhere besides in Battle Hymn telling me my shirt is inside out. That's it.
Well, we love Bob. Amazing.
We love Violet Chachki too, but I'm just saying I don't know why. Yeah, go ahead, continue.
But congratulations to Bob because that's a huge feat and we love it. Another staying in things we're excited about, Noah's Ark. Remember Noah's Ark? The series by Patrick Ian Polk is back. And with a film, there's a trailer out now, and the new Paramount Plus movie will come out right before Pride. Well, when we say Pride, because there's Prides all over the world right now, but we're talking about June 20th. So Noah's Ark, the movie, will premiere June 20th on Paramount. I'll post the trailer on tagspodcast.com, reference episode 669. But this one is really exciting. If you remember, we had Christian Vincent, who does Christian Vincent play on the show?
Ricky,
yeah. We had him on one of our live shows back in the day, and we're going to try and get him back to talk about this exciting new. But what can you expect if you're a fan of the show? Well, Noah and Wade are expecting twins. That's really exciting. Aww. I think original members of the cast, Daryl Stevens, Jensen Atwood, Rodney Chester, Doug Spearman, Christian Vincent, and Wilson Cruz. People will all reprise their infamous roles. I'm excited about this. What do you say? Are you excited?
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm going to be pinned to the TV screen. I'm not going to be able to like move or anything because the only complaint that I have is that the trailer wasn't longer because I want the movie now, basically.
They're saving it up.
I know. I'm excited though.
This is kind of cool because it's their third movie. Remember, Noah's Ark Jumping the Broom was the first movie in 2008. And then during the pandemic, which is when we had Christian on the show, they revisited in a sort of Zoom-like show, which was really fun, called The Rona Chronicles, which was really fun. And now they're back with the brand new film out June 20th on Paramount Plus. Check it out. We're excited about it. And wish us luck because we really want to get at least Christian back on the show, if not more of the cast. But yeah, I'm excited. Well, moving on to, we've talked a lot about the Senate Twink. Remember him? And if you thought we were done talking about him, we're not, because finally, so if you just to, in a nutshell, recap, he worked for a prominent senator and had sex on the Senate floor, filmed it, got caught, was of course kicked out, was used by the right to basically as fodder for the left. And he was traumatized, as we reported last, moved over to Australia, I believe, has started his OnlyFans, which, Cody, is very popular, I might add.
It is.
Yeah, he was one of the thirst trap picks in a recent thirst trap that we do at the end of the show. Yeah, he was one of them. Oh, wow. Anyways, he's finally been asked, what was your reasoning? Like, why did you do this? And he said it's, quote, hard to say that I learned a lesson. In this recent interview that he did with the Intelligencer, he said, who cares? The only person I negatively affected was myself, and I bear those consequences, but I don't regret fucking in the Senate. He went on to say that, yeah, it was a political scandal, but he doesn't really have any regrets. He said the pay at the time working for the senator, the pay was shit. The hours are shit. It's shit knowing that you're not actually doing anything. He says of his attitude towards his job before the scandal, I was so eager to go to work, get the job done, and go home. I would come in 9 hours a day, sit there bored out of my mind. So yeah, I'm going to entertain myself and fuck in a room. I mean, I don't get it, really. I mean, I think he was traumatized. He moved to Australia. He started this OnlyFans career that is successful now. That's great. But I think, yeah, maybe he's being honest. But in any job, I was telling you in our meeting earlier that if you worked in the film industry and you wanted to get in the film industry, you don't, unless you're doing your own independent project, you can be your writer, producer, and director, and you can do that. But if you're trying to get into Hollywood, you're not starting off at the top. You are a PA, and it's getting coffee, and you pay your dues. It's the same in a law office. You are in the mail room to start off, and you pay your dues, and hopefully you do a good job, and you catch notice, and you move up the ranks. So to say that you were bored in you got this job in a senator's office, which is kind of a big deal in DC. Who cares if you were bored? You just show up, but you make a name for yourself, not by filming yourself having sex in the Senate floor. You just don't do that. So it's kind of like he lost in many ways in my mind, and I don't like his excuse at all. But I am happy for him because I think, he will never have a career in Washington anymore, but he is doing well in OnlyFans. So, but what do you think of his response?
I think nothing that is said in this response has refuted the theory that I have that he did this to be popular so he could start a career on OnlyFans. I mean, he started a career on OnlyFans. So I think that he doesn't have any remorse. That's a big tell for me. I think that if he was traumatized, maybe he processed it and to where he is okay with it. But I don't know about not having any remorse for something that you did that kind of blew up your life. If it were me personally, I would definitely have regret about doing something. And
those are my words, just for the sake of it. Those are my words that he didn't have any. Did he say that too?
I think he said that. I'm pretty
He said, "Who cares?" So you could kind of make your way to that. I think he's gone through the cycles of I did something wrong, and we've read other interviews of him that said he was traumatized, and somebody said you just need to get out of DC and America and go to Australia, which he took that advice and did move there. And now I think he's coming up for air because he's doing well on his adult content, and being asked again, he has a different perspective on it. And whether we've seen the levels of iterations of him processing this as we've reported on this, and this is his latest, that who cares? I was bored. It didn't pay anything. And yeah, I had sex not on the dance floor, on the Senate floor.
He does say that he doesn't have any shame because when you go through something like that, it is just overwhelming and difficult to even comprehend. That's a direct quote. So, I mean, again, he may have processed it. Maybe it's just too much for him to process, but it's kind of out there for me to not have any remorse or to be able to have regret when it comes to, I don't know. But
I just think he should have just ended it with, yeah, I did it. It was a bad move. I should have, we talk a lot about risky sex and filming yourself. Don't get caught. He got caught. But the stakes were too high. He should have never done this. And I think he should have ended it at that. I've moved on. I have a successful adult content platform now, and just but to hear him now in this new iteration where he's sort of like, I was bored, all jobs like that. But when you get entry level jobs for things like the Senate, a law office, Hollywood, you don't then fuck it up. Like RuPaul says, don't fuck it up. You don't fuck it up by having sex you don't do that at your workplace. You just don't do that. And I think to try and make excuses of it is kind of his new crock of shit iteration of it, but I don't buy it. And if it makes him feel better, great, but I'm not buying it. But I'm happy for him because he's doing well in Australia with his adult content. So that's my button in it, as they say. Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm fired up as we get back into it. Well, we wanted to there's two stories that really caught our attention as we move into summer, and they're both about our bodies, our body images, and one of them that's worth putting up on tagspodcast.com, reference episode 669, is by gay fitness legend out.com's words, but I like him a lot, Shaun T's Pride Guide to Physical and Mental Health. And they really interviewed him in this feature about everything about basically his whole life of fitness, but he really doesn't take fitness as seriously and doesn't want people to take fitness. He wants people to take fitness in your health, but he says it doesn't stop there. It's about your mental health as well. He's about to relaunch his new second season of his podcast, T is for Transformation. Maybe we can get him on the show, which would be great to talk about this. But he has some really good advice. When asked about what's a summer body myth you think the queer community needs to finally bury, he says the biggest myth is that just because someone's ripped, that automatically makes them desirable. My husband Scott and I could be walking on the beach and I'd be checking out the thickest person around. Scott, he likes a man with muscles. But he says the truth is, I don't judge people for not looking better than any like me. I actually judge people for trying to be something they're not confident in. He says confident looks better than any six-pack ever will. A lot of people with the so-called perfect body are still deeply unhappy. Not everyone wants to be ripped. Not everyone should be. I want you to be healthy, and that starts with feeling confident in who you are. And he goes on to talk a lot about our culture. And one of the things that I told you about in our meeting that really resonated with me, Cody, was he said, when asked about, what do you think about queer gyms or gyms that have a huge queer following? Do you like that? How is it today? And the one thing he says he wishes would change is he wishes people were a little bit more friendly, that they would say hi like back in the day. I talked about this recently. Last year, I joined Crunch Fitness thinking that, you know what, I want to break it up. I want to meet some people. I want to see some friendly faces. And I was met with everybody's head down, headsets on. It was not a welcoming environment at all. I did it for a year. It was fine, but I went for the equipment in the end. But I understand what he's saying. And I kind of approach life the same way. I walk out my door and I say hi to everybody that I see, or at least smile to them. Not everyone returns it back, but it's a model that he talks about that it's kind of a life lesson that I just love, that I want to impart with people. Like, say hi to people when you get in the elevator. They are a soul that you can connect with. It sounds, I'm not even going to say it. It doesn't sound silly. It's how he really approached the world. What do you say?
No, I love that. I actually talked to a bunch of people at my gym, waved hi, hugged some people today, and it was great. So I really enjoy, even though I'm the type of solitary person.
But you agree that most people are not doing that, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. But I was like that for a long time. I don't know. I think it's a balance because I like to work out by myself. I like to get in there. I like to work hard and do what I want to do because I know how my body is. So for me to go with somebody else, unless, we're dating or what have you, then that it just really kind of slows me down. I like to
we're not even talking about that. We're just talking about there's primarily
saying hello to people.
You're just how about a nod or just seems like everybody's so angry.
I can't disagree with you, but I do think that he has a point. You have a point. I think that we should just be a little bit more kinder to people. I think I'm guilty of it too. Even just walking down the street, I'm like, bitch, get out of my way. You're moving very slow. But I think that I've learned to take a step back and kind of collect my composure and what have you, and just be a little bit more kinder and understanding of people that are around me. So I see what you're saying. I see what Shaun T is saying. I do believe that what he says about him being attracted to many different body types, because if I remember correctly, his husband, when they met, he wasn't in the best of shape. And now he's in amazing shape. But I think Shaun T is able to see a lot of different body types and find them attractive. So I think that's fantastic. I think that's the best way to be, personally.
Yeah, and body types change throughout the years, and so it's like, yeah, believe me, you learn that about your body throughout the years. Bryce, watching us live, says, "Okay, so when gays roll their eyes when I say kindly, when he kindly says hello in a bar, a pimp slap is a consider." Yeah,
No. Don't go out there slapping anybody, girl.
Yeah,
it's not gonna work out.
But yeah, it's much better to be kind, I think. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. We need to talk about that queer TikToker, right, Cody?
We can talk about it on Monday. It's
okay.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to one of our Reddits, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. He's helping me. I'm a little foggy today because I just time change and all, but I'm here. Okay, so we love giving advice on this show, and tonight is no different. And you can always reach out to us for sex and relationship advice. We'll give our handles at the end of the show, which you can reach out to us individually or simply go to tagspodcast.com and reach out via the website. This one comes from Reddit, and they wrote, "I had a sexual experience yesterday." That's one, right, Cody? I had a sexual experience yesterday that I did not know was even physically possible. I was fisting a really hot guy yesterday, and he told me he wanted my cock and my fist in his anus at the same time. Okay, let me figure that out. Okay, yeah, I got it.
Use your fingers, darling. Use your fingers.
Yeah. But there was actually so much space in there. And then I could actually grab my cock with my hand and jerk off completely inside his anus. Like my hand was up to my wrist inside. Okay, girl, we get it. My cock was also completely inside. It was so hot that I came super fast. Okay, what's the problem? Oh, I read there's more. Any of the guys who are into fisting here, how common is that? Have you ever experienced something like that? For me, it was like a whole new universe of possibilities just opened. I'm just going to let you take over on this one first, and I got to still process.
First, I want to read some of the comments on here because they are gold. One of the comments says, "These gays are trying to kill me." And of course, that is the greatest reference ever. I don't know. It's White Lotus, for anybody who doesn't know.
Yeah.
Another one says, "You should have just climbed the rest of the way in." And somebody said in response to that, reverse the substance. So, and then another one says, "If you help me find my car keys, we can drive out of here." It just goes on and on and on, and it is now. It's amazing. So
I think this guy was really sharing his amazing experience. So first off, I think this guy met his match, right? I mean, he was into it. Not everybody would really be like that. Would be like a lot, and maybe be turned up. I just interviewed. You can listen to it. Well, I was away. It just dropped. Dr. Goldstein, who's our favorite proctologist, the butt doctor, the good doctor. And I was asking him things like, in that episode, that rosebud, that pushing out of the ass. I was asking, so is that, I'm assuming that's not recommended as a proctologist? He said, yeah, no, it's not a good thing. Well, some people might like doing that. There is potential damage when you push that out. You're actually you're stretching it out to a region that really isn't meant to be out. There's a reason why it's internal, correct? And I'll let you to listen to the rest of his advice on why that's not good. But what he does say, which is so great, is that if you are going to, he just wants you to see, not necessarily him, but somebody like a proctologist, if you're participating in that type of, or bottoming, because he will work out a plan for you, and then you might just have to see him a little bit more often, or a proctologist. But if you're having a fist in you and then wanting the dick in you too, now we're talking about huge. I would come from a perspective, because I've talked so much about to Dr. Goldstein from a safety standpoint, like let's take care of you as well. And hopefully you're seeking professional care that will continue to be able to have that kind of fun for the long haul is what I would say. But from the other guy's standpoint, he seemed into it. So have at it. Have a party. God bless you. No, I wouldn't. It would be too much for me. And I would just be like, oh, and running out the door. But
I think I would try. And then, because I'm a pleaser, I think I would try.
Oh, really?
And then
that's too much pleasing for me. I'm about to call the guy down the hall to please, and it's just too much pleasing for me. But
I might try. I would try, and then I would see how it goes. But something tells me that I would be a little bit like, okay, we need to stop this. I don't know if I'm capable of this. So,
yeah.
Interesting.
Oh my God. I think we had did we have a related story to that
we missed it. Yeah. It was you want to run it back and do the one where it was
my partner never gets hard during fisting. Yeah. Is he really enjoying it? Yeah, it was kind of a related story that we were talking about in our meeting about somebody that wrote that. My partner never gets hard during fisting. But it also just had to do with my partner says he wants to get fisted, which he knows I love. But when we have sex, he never gets hard or comes. He says the sex is brilliant, but is he just doing all this to please me? Is he you, Cody? How can I tell he's enjoying it if I get no reaction?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody is wired up, I think, that you get initially hard. And if he says he's enjoying it, he probably is. I think there's a lot of things going on when you're having sex. There's a lot of bottoms that don't get hard when they're getting pounded, and that doesn't mean they don't enjoy it. But if you're with your partner, like this person is saying, talk to them, like ask the question. I noticed that you don't get hard, but you seem to enjoy it. Is that really the truth, and why? And I don't think everybody's wired to immediately just be hard, and it's just like porn sex. There's even in porn sex, they're not even always hard sometimes. Yeah. And so there's that. What do you say?
I think that there's I was just going to say believe bottoms, and then you said the whole thing about talking to the partner. And I think that there's pluses and minuses in that. I think that if you talk to a partner about that, there is the likelihood that they could become self-conscious about this. I think that he probably should just realize that this is something that happens to a lot of people. A lot of people don't get hard when they're being penetrated anally. I'm one of those people. Well, I haven't been penetrated anally in a long time, so I don't know. Maybe I do get hard. It's coming from the closet back there. We'll see. But yeah, just believe your bottom and decide, kind of guesstimate whether or not it'd be a good conversation to have with them.
Got it. Okay. Well, we're up to our final segment that we love talking about. It's produced by Straight Up Gay Porn, and it asks the question, Thirst Trap Recap, which of these this week 22 gay porn stars took the best photo? And I like this week. It looks like you had some great ones while I was away. Last week, it was... Who was the last week? He's really sexy.
Last week.
He's at the top, but I don't...
Yeah.
Jet Carter won last week and was the one. There were some really great ones, but before we get to who our favorite ones, I have to just talk about one of the people featured here, and we just wanted to discuss it really quickly. He goes by the name Self-Suck Parker, and he has tats all over his body, but he has a huge hard-on, thin to my liking, but whatever. Many of you might like that. But it's tattooed on the shaft, 2 tattoos. And I can only think, how did they get that tattoo? I don't even know what it says. Can you read what it says? But the thing is, did he have to be hard this entire time while they were... Oh, it says... just closing up on it. I can't really read it. I think it's because he had to sit through this tattoo. And was he hard while he had this done? And why did he have to have this tattooed? And it's like a huge, long tattoo. It just doesn't make sense to me. Right? You have to see it to believe it. And
there's a trident on there too. So I don't. Maybe he's going to impale you.
What's a trident?
I have no. It's like a 3-pronged staff. It's a staff, and then it has like a little a U with a stick in the middle. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I'm like, no, I can't believe that. But whatever, he did it. Who was your pick and why?
I'm gonna go with Austin Wilde, and I need to find them now. Austin Wilde and Orlando Rivas. Austin Wilde is one of my favorite porn stars ever. He's so hot, and he's got this long, thick schlong. And this is basically a mirror selfie in a bathroom, and I love a bathroom moment. They're both completely naked. Austin Wilde's got the phone up, and he's pointing into the mirror, and they're both looking at it, and they're both have amazing bodies and amazing dicks, and I just love it. I know they're going to have amazing fuck after this, so I can't wait to see
yeah, exactly. Good description for our audio listeners. By the way, I will post this. You can go and watch us on our YouTube channel. I mentioned it before, but if you want to see our faces describe this, but you can also get this link at tagspodcast.com, reference episode 600 and is it 669? Yes. Yeah, thank you. Mine goes to Con Horror. I love the name. Con Horror. I may have voted him for before. He's sitting back on a chair with a gray blanket, a velvet blanket. He's has both biceps. He's making both. What do you call that when you do that?
Flexing.
Yeah, flexing. My goodness. Flexing both biceps. I love his tattoos. He has a really cool, interesting tattoo on his sternum. It's like a interesting butterfly. But I love his thick thighs. I love his expression on his face. I love his shaggy hair. He's smooth. I like his thick dick. It's not too big. It's not too small. And I don't know. He seems fun. And to me, he gets my vote. And in fact, what you should really do when you find the one you like, vote for them. In fact, I'm voting right now for Con Horror. And let me see who did you vote for? Austin Wilde. They're at number 3, Austin Wilde and Orlando Rivas. So
we gotta get them up
mine's
there,
way
y'all.
down there. I'm always like vote for the ones that are. I'm for the underdogs. Diego, my fiance, is Unicorn
Horn is his name.
Unicorn Horn. He's voting for him. Doug is voting for Trevor Books. Bryce also is for Austin Wilde first, Trevor second. Trevor was the only booty. Love it. Oh my gosh, so much fun. We have to wrap this up. So much fun being back, Cody. You can always follow Cody on the gram at Mr. Maurice or his Blue Sky account at the same handle, Mr. Maurice. Follow me on the gram. I am _Steve V. Go to my Blue Sky or my X account at Tags Podcast. You get a preview of my Just for Fans, promoting that one, or my OF, and go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Tags Podcast. Grab a tier, support Tags. We love it. We appreciate it. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex. Thanks, guys.